Oh, hi.
Mm.
Oh, my goodness. It's the shifty goggles.
I'm back, baby.
Wait, was that was Shifty Goggles someone from our Japanese class?
I don't remember anything like that.
Because
Not saying, I don't know.
I was just telling Polisa about our characters from that class, namely Skittles and the girl who thought that Sasuke was A, real, and B, her boyfriend. Were you there for the girl who thought Sasuke was real and her boyfriend?
Probably. I don't remember. I mean, the last thing I remember from that was that we what is it? We talked too much in that class, and the teacher didn't even it was like Japanese 3 or whatever. And I remember I was the one. I'm like, guys, we gotta split up because we don't take it seriously when it's the three of us.
No, we don't. No, we didn't, and that's probably why I learned probably the least in that semester.
Mm-hmm. We all got better once we moved, though.
Yeah, I think we did. This was also when we started learning kanji, and my brain was pretty much checked out at that point. I was like, this is so hard. I will never learn it. And here I am. I've got I don't know, probably almost 100 under my belt at this point that I've remembered the onyomi and the kunyomi. And, shout outs to Wani Kani. Love it.
Wani Kani.
Wani Kani. Anyway.
Wani Kani. Learning's for nerds. You're a nerd, Gilmer.
This is true. Learning is for nerds. Welcome, Gilmer. This is, I think, probably the only time that you've popped in that we haven't been talking dirty stuff. So allow me to change that now.
Giggity, giggity, goo.
Well, I was wondering why this felt so foreign, and I realized this is the first normal Talk Tuesday that you and I have had in a month.
Yes,
it's
because
been a full month.
I wasn't able to do last week, and then the week before that we did Still Family.
Yep.
And then actually, fun fact, I have a recording session that I just found out about for next Tuesday. So you're finding out about that right now.
All right. Well, I will find someone to talk to.
It is the final episode, final recording session for Punch a Nazi month. So I'm rounding that out. Hopefully, and it's funny because the one from a week ago was also the first episode from Punch a Nazi month. It just kind of all worked out that way. So yeah, we're Punch Nazis next week.
Well, every month is Punch a Nazi month around these parts.
And punching some goddamn Nazis in the mush.
Punch a bunch of box their ears. give them the old what for. But yeah, no, it's because, and I think the week before the Fast Family, I mean, I said
Still
that
Family.
Unironically thinking that was the title of the movie. Still Family, Fast and Furious. I think that was the one I did the Phantom Dust episode with Drew.
Yes, I believe so.
So we had Phantom Dust, then Fast Family, which was I Talk Tuesday. I did it again. Fast Family. Still Family. Fast and Furious. Then, was it? Oh, yeah. So this week makes it a month. The last week we did a very impromptu but very cool. Hey, Blaze and Blazy. Speaking of Phantom Dust, welcome. I can never not shut up about it. It'll get mentioned. Whoa! Okay, what is this now? Who is that?
Who couldn't be me?
Who is that subscribing to me on my own show? That's awesome. Thank you, man.
I mean, I got the free Prime sub. I don't know how much longer I'll have Amazon Prime with, fucking what's his nuts, but I'll use it while I can.
Right. Well, you're number 3, I think. Wub is number 1. Onox is number 2 with a gifted sub from Wub. And you are now number 3. The first 10 subscribers get that little badge that you now have next to your name in the chat with the little first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so last week, I was like, you were like, I got to record, and I was like, all right, what can I talk about? And whom can I talk about it with? And I've been showing Polisa a lot of Super Sentai. We're almost through the show that I'm currently watching, and then we're excuse me, we're 6 or so, maybe 5 episodes in, and we're watching them as they come out of the newest one, which is called Gozyuger. And if you're crafty with Japanese like Josh and I are, who paid attention in every single class and never goofed around, Goju is kind of like a play on 50, because it's the 50th anniversary. 50 years of basically Power Rangers in Japan. So I was like, all right, I got to do something for this. I'll make it impromptu. I won't think about it too much because I'll overthink it to death. And Polisa and I sat down. It took us 4 hours on what was like, yeah, this will be short. This will probably be like 2 hours. We sat down and watched and ranked every single, like I made a tier list on tiermaker.com, and we ranked every single Super Sentai opening theme. Like on the music, on the visuals, and like how much does it make you want to watch the show, or if it's one that we've already watched, rewatch it. And it was a blast. It was some of the most fun I've had on this stream ever. Like it was very.
Oh, I see how it is. How dare you?
That's why I didn't say the most fun. I said some of the most fun.
I'm just. You can say it's the most fun. In fact, I would, if I was police, I'd be more insulted if it wasn't the most fun. So it's all good. It's all
I
good.
suppose. I mean, you and I are not dating officially.
Not with that attitude.
So on paper, anyway. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. It took us 4 hours. I think I went to sleep at like 2 and had to be up at like 6 for work, and it was worth it. And I was singing all of the songs in my head. It's wild. Like when you think about 50 years, the first one was 1975. So I mean, from going back to like old Bond movies that are that old, the effects that they were working with in the 70s. Like,
remember, this is also effects for made for TV in Japan.
Yeah,
in the 70s. So that's like even a little step further down the ladder.
Totally. Yeah, but it was a ton of fun. Obviously, the Phantom Dust episode was great. The Fast Family. I promise I'm not doing this on purpose.
Still Family, Fast and Furious episode
was also very fun. That's up on YouTube. I had a lot of fun going back and listening to that one.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah. And I thought it was with the Super Sentai one too. Like Polisa and I were like, we had great energy, like going back and forth, talking about like, like what did we like about this one? She would point things out and I would point things out. And like, it was just like we do. We have a lot of great back and forth, and the energy was just great. And I have since, and I don't do this for everything. It's going to sound very narcissistic. I don't do this for hardly any of my content, but I went back and I watched, or listened to anyway, our entire 4 hour long conversation. And I was like laughing along with it. I was like, I would listen to this, which most of the time I'm like, oh no, I don't like watching myself. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing related to Talk Tuesdays for the last month. So for the first time in a month, I will say, outside of this, what have you experienced, Josh, in the last month?
So I'll keep real life stuff out of this, not because of any political thing, just long story short, just speeding tickets, another basement flooding, fucking like bills and just other stuff. But like Courtney and I were figuring shit out. We're making stuff work. So that's good. That's the venting. I'm good. I'm okay. I got that out of my system. In terms of fun stuff, a couple things. Courtney and my daughter went to the beach over the weekend. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So I got the whole house. I had the whole weekend to myself, and man, it was wonderful. Felicity's awesome. I've had yesterday it rained a whole bunch, which is why our basement flooded. But she got to go outside and play in puddles, and it was just awesome to see. Like you just kid being a kid, man. It's awesome. Being a dad's great. So that's been fun, but I haven't had like any time to myself for quite some time, and I am a little bit of like a what's the word, introvert. So what I ended up doing was I did a afternoon stream. I actually streamed at like 10 o'clock, like around noon. Played a lot of Uncharted 1. I beat Uncharted 1 over the weekend. Like I got the PS4 or the Nathan Drake collection on my PS5. I also went to a local game store I had not, and I picked up two NES titles.
Nice.
We have Amagon.
Visual Amagon.
Yes, Amagon. Yeah, I was recommended it by Try from My Life in Gaming, and I don't. It's in, from what I remember. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Let me see here. Let's see if I go Amagon NES. Let me try to look it up real quick, because from what I remember, it's about like a dude who gets power up and he like turns into like better, like more bulky versions of himself. The way Try described it, it's like an 80s like acid dream. So it's like you're a caveman, then you get bulked up and you fly on like turtles and shit, and it's wild. So I bought it just off of a whim for that, and then I also picked up, and I literally only because of the title and the artwork on the cartridge, The Moffat Conspiracy.
The what? What is that logo?
No, God. Look, isn't that the artwork's kind of cool though, right? I know
the
it's a
art
little
is
bit
cool.
blurry because my camera's not that great. So that was kind of cool. That is actually a sequel to Golgo 13, like the NES game Golgo 13, which is based off the anime Golgo 13. Excuse me.
Huh.
Gogol. Hold on. Is it GOGOL? I think. Gogol 13. It's like GOOGO. No, what the fuck? Hold on. Golgo 13. Yeah, Golgo 13. There we go. That's a lot easier to say. GOLGO. Golgo.
I was like, is this is this a real word?
It is GOLGO, and it's an anime from like it's an old anime. Like it was the manga started in 1968.
Whoa!
Like, just put that in perspective, right? Like it is an old game.
Yeah. Blasian says he remembers that old game. Sometimes I just Google and play some old retro games. If I recall, there was some interesting invisible things I shot when I played that game, and it ended up giving me extra lives. I could never replicate it though. That's so weird. What a weird mechanic. Invisible, like I understand hidden things that give you extra lives, but something completely invisible is so out there. Like we're not going to tell you what it is or show you what it is. You just have to know.
I teased it off mic. I teased it before we went live.
Yes.
I actually got mail.
You did.
To make sure my address wasn't on there.
Oh yes, please address it to my home address and my social security number, which I will now show on.
So we got some scissors. Let's open this guy up. So with Nintendo sunsetting their gold points program,
right?
I realized though afterwards that I spent platinum points on this and not fucking gold points. So gold points are the ones that you get for buying games and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck? That's just weird. Like there's insulation in the packaging and it's like coming out everywhere. Oh, that's obnoxious. Hold on just a moment. Let's see. Is that okay? That is everything.
April Fools, it's my nudes.
I know, right? So I ordered this because I thought it'd be kind of cool. I got video game postcards.
Oh, cool.
So let's see what we got. So this is the back right here, and I already see. Oh no. Okay. So the back right here. Does it have? Okay. So yeah. God damn it. Everything's fucking fallen. So yeah, this thing is just like, buy Nintendo Switch Online or whatever. Mm-hmm. We have Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Oh, cool. Are these just little like card stock
They're actual postcards.
printouts? Oh, they're postcards. Cool.
Yeah, little
Aw.
postcards.
What's the name of that freaking
We-
hamster?
I don't know. Hamtaro.
That's a good trivia question. It's like a normal
I know it's not a Hamtaro.
human
but-
name. Like it's like Marshall or
Jim.
something. Jim.
Then we also have Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins.
One of my favorite Marios.
It's a good game, man.
Yeah.
We got Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
So far we have 2 Game Boy games. Because you have, Dreamland 2, Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. And then the second GBA game is Metroid Fusion.
Oh, hell yeah. That's my favorite out of all of those. Although I'm a little bit upset that it's not Mario related and it breaks the chain.
Well,
Oh, no, wait. The
there
first one was
is
Kirby.
Mario Party 2
Hey.
and 64.
Oh, I thought you said that was the last one.
No. That was the last GBA one.
I see.
There's
I
2
see.
left. There's
Okay.
2 left. Not surprising, Mario 64.
Excellent. All-time favorite Mario.
And the last one, oh, sorry, there's 2. There was 3 more. Ocarina
Halo. Oh,
Halo. Ocarina of Time.
nice.
And finally,
God of War.
Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, cool. They are super glossy. That just hit
Yeah.
your light just right for a second, and it was like the sun.
Look at that. Yeah.
That's really,
They're very
those are so
glossy.
vibrant too. The print jobs are great.
Yeah, man, they did a great job with it. I bought it literally just because you had to pay for shipping, so I spent like $8, which is probably the cost of these things.
Right.
Whatever. It was kind of cool. So it was like, because you can get platinum points for a variety of different things.
Yeah. Inflation says Pokemon Stadium basically looks holographic with the print. It does. Definitely worth,
yeah.
I would say worth $8. I'd pay $8 for those if I just saw them in a store.
It's kind of cool. I just thought it was kind of cool because, like, any of the stuff that you can get at, what is it? Any of the kind of stuff that you can get at, like, on the Nintendo, like, rewards shop, I always thought was
Yeah.
kind of fun.
That's why I bought the. I was
yeah.
surprised there's no Pokemon in there. I've talked about these before. I have the. I have
There
Red
was
and
Pokemon Stadium. What are you talking about?
I have to go now. I don't know why I separate Pokemon Stadium from like the mainline games. Maybe I was surprised that there wasn't the OGs, but I have the red and blue. I'm gonna do a little ASMR here. These are ceramic coasters that I got from like a local shop that prints
cool.
prints them out, and they have a ton of them. So I have red, blue. I even have a green, and I think the yellow is in another room. But they have. I'm gonna have to go back because last time I was there, they had Dreamcast games, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, get me some Power Stone." If I had another 4 set of Dreamcast games, I would go Power Stone, Project Justice, Sonic Adventure 2, and Jet Set Radio, which are not my top 4 of the top 10 Dreamcast games I just counted down. But sure.
I know, man. If I would have held out a little bit longer, I could. It cost 450 platinum points for those cards, and I was like, I got to get these now because this is going to run out. And as soon as I bought them, I'm like, oh, those are platinum points, not gold points.
Yes.
What? Anyway, you can for 500 points, 50 more than what I had for this. You can get a Super Mario Stadium tote bag, or for 500 a Mario and Luigi Brothership magnets.
Ooh.
That's kind of cool. You for 600 points, you get Donkey Kong Country Returns HD sticky notes.
Okay.
Oh, like lots of like random stuff in here. Like the point values are all over the place. So like the most expensive that I can see right now, I'm sure there's more. For 1,200 points, you can get a Nintendo World Championship NES hat.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
so there's lots of like random stuff.
Yeah.
If you haven't looked at your like your rewards points, look to see because you might have a lot of rewards points for all you know.
I probably do, and with them getting rid of it, I'll have to check it out. Blasian is saying throw Shenmue into that list. I would if I had played it. Oh, it hurts me to say. I did an experience share, just like I did for Phantom Dust. I did one of those with a Or no, I didn't. I'm thinking of Yakuza because that's the spiritual successor. I was planning on doing one for Shenmue, but I am planning on playing it probably in the next few months. I have 1 and 2 and 3 on PS4. I don't have the OGs because I don't feel like spending hundreds of dollars for the Dreamcast versions, but I will play them. I heard that they're great, and I am a Sega shill to the day I die, so I need to play them. So wait, so do you still have to spend your gold coins then if you accidentally spent the platinum by accident?
You can't get any more gold coins now, but you will be able to keep the gold coins you do have for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, for like another month or so, or no, more than that. I'm sorry, like probably like a year. I don't know. I have to double check.
Yeah, I have to look and see what I have. We have like a similar system at my new job with like you get like 1,200 like of these points. They used to be called like touch points, but now it's called something different. And I was like, oh, touch points is a cool because it's supposed to be for like if someone on your team is doing a good job, you can send them like 600 points or like 200 points. I think each one that you send is 200 points. So you can send six. You can send them to 6 people a month, and if you don't use them, then you lose them. And then when you send them to people, you can, just like the Nintendo store, you can use your points to get real things. So there's like video games on there. There's like camping stuff, and the amount of like weird, really niche things in there is really funny. There's like Ninja Turtles figures and like just a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm going to just get these for getting them. Because everyone on my team is like, yeah, we just send all of ours to each other to keep the economy going because there's no point because you're just going to lose them anyway in a month. So that's something that I've been experiencing. Teetering on the edge of burnout. Because it's like I'm back in college because now I have 2 jobs and I'm streaming 4 days a week. So I don't know if it's sustainable. I'm tired all the time and I'm not getting enough sleep, but I'm afraid of disappointing people if I go down to like 3 days a week streaming. But that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Fuck
us. All right. You don't owe anyone free entertainment. All right.
I know, but it's not free anymore because I'm making money and people can give me money. So now,
yeah, but that's on them to decide that at that point. Like I understand if it's a Patreon where like people pay monthly and they can like it's a little bit like I don't know. Twitch to me, it's like I throw people gift subs. I throw people my Prime sub, even if I don't end up watching their channel. I just do it just to support them, right? Yeah. So, like, I do actually watch your channel. You see me pop in on your streams every now and then. But, like, I don't know. Content creation should be fun. If you are not having fun and getting burnt out, then you are, even doing that, you are going to create a worse... I hate using the term for this because it feels so capitalistic, but a product, right? You're putting out a worse product for people to partake in. So like, dude, the fucking that January through March, like pretty much from the inauguration up into all of about midway through March, I was in a consistent depressive state, and you can kind of tell on some of those episodes. And combination of political stuff and like life and all this other stuff. I only reason I kept going is because the podcast was my reprieve from that. Yeah. So if streaming isn't your reprieve from the stress of your everyday life, then manage your time with it. If it gives you solace, if it gives you joy, then maybe push. But that's the way I look at it. Like, if something gives you joy, then it's worth losing sleep over. But if something does not, and you're just doing it for the sake of some weird like artificial restriction you put on yourself, then unless you absolutely have to do the thing that you're putting this artificial restriction on, then then do it. But like, this is not mandatory. This is meant to be fun. So.
I know, and it is, and I shouldn't have led with that. I do love it. It is a reprieve. It is fun. I get to play video games, which I want to do anyway. It is a little bit more energy because it's like, okay, I got to set everything up, set up the lights. Is the stream going to work? Is my internet working? I have to be on and entertaining and make sure I'm not just sitting there like I would be if I was playing by myself. But I think it's just the time, if the time aspect. It's just the fact that it's like I get up, anywhere from, 6 to 7, depending on. I like go back in my schedule's weird. I go back and forth between having to go in at 7 and 8. Get up, go to work, where I'm just like doing the most, like, I should be kind. I've never worked in this field before. I'm in insurance, or not, I'm not in insurance. I'm in healthcare. I'm in a cancer center, so I'm dealing with people who are dying. I'm dealing with insurance and all the shit that like nobody ever wants to have to deal with. But it's consistent money, and that's what I need right now. But it's not engaging me in a creative way in the least. So, and that's fine. Not everything has to, but I go and I do that, and then I come home and I try to eat, and then I work on my freelance stuff until like right up until I have to stream, and then it's like I do that until like midnight, and then it's like I have to go to sleep to just do it again. So it's like it's just something and something and something and something and something. So I think what I will probably do, Fridays are my lowest watch day anyway. I don't know if it's just people aren't that into fighting games, or what probably it is people have lives and they're doing shit on Friday nights. So, it makes sense. I think I may roll fighting game Friday into Wildcard Wednesdays, and maybe on a Wednesday, if I want to play a fighting game, I can play that. And then maybe just do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have Thursday and Friday to work on editing stuff. Cause that's another thing. Like, I edit some of this stuff. I still want to I'm slowly making badges for the bit badges, and I want to get emojis, and once my first paycheck hits, because I just started this job, I want to maybe commission an artist to make some emojis, and that all takes time and planning, and it's just the time aspect. It's not necessarily the work. I just feel like I'm on 100. I'm just pedal to the metal, foot to the floor at all times, and it's like I don't have quiet moments anymore. I don't have time to just sit and be like, okay, I need to decompress from the entire day. It's just like, well, if my brain's like Crank, basically the Jason Statham movie, where it's like, if you stop, you die. And so at the end of the day, I shower, and then I'm just like, I'm just like in zombie mode.
I can't see you. There's like a 4-second delay. Right?
I know. That's why I sat there delayed for a very long time. I was like, oh my God, I have to commit to this now because I have to wait for the delay so that he can see the face I'm making. Anyway, yeah, but we will figure it out. Nothing official yet, but
I get that burnout though, dude. I do. Not the podcast has been pretty good so lately, but I understand that burnout of just it's always just one other fucking thing. It's just one other thing to add to it, and it's. So one of the reasons today was a rough day because, I went to the hockey game last night. My dad treated me to go see the Flyers, which was awesome.
Nice.
Great game. They won. It was a fun time. It was pouring rain, so I asked Courtney to check the basement because it's had flooding issues. There was some water in it, but she turned on the sub pump and we're good to go. Well, I guess the sub pump was not pumping as well as it could have, because when I came home an hour later, it was pretty far up. I was like, damn it, man. So then I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know. I had no reference or comparison. I had not known that it actually went farther up since when she turned it on. So clearly the sub pump was not able to keep up with what was happening. Luckily we have a second one, but so I went to bed, set my alarm for 3:30 because I'm like, well, if this thing's pumping water all night, I want to make sure it doesn't burn out. So I slept for 3.5 hours, got up at 3 o'clock or 3 in the morning, not 3:30, went down. The basement was even more flooded.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? So I had to get the other sub pump, bring another hose outside from the basement. And there's the only way to do that is literally up the basement steps through our kitchen and out a window, because we don't have the basement's the only way in or out is the door from our kitchen.
Oh my God.
So I did that and it was fine. Like I went to bed, woke up this morning, it was fine. But I had to work from home today. Normally I go into the office on Tuesdays, and I love that. I like going into the office because it's a change of pace. I get to interact with people and socialize. I can also focus a little bit better, having that change of pace and everything. And I couldn't because I had to watch the basement all day, like checking every 2 to 3 every hour or so to make sure okay, it went all the way down. Now I got to unplug it because it's going to burn out. There's not enough water coming in. Then I have to let it fill up again a little bit, but not too far. So that way it wouldn't actually get to anything that's important. To plug the sub pump back in and rinse, wash, and repeat until we're going to probably end up digging our own sub pump well. But my dad and I are going to try to handle that because if you pay a plumber for it, you're looking at like 10 grand.
I was going to say, holy crap.
It's a lot of fucking money. So I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing this all the time, and it just because we had heavy rain last night.
Mm-hmm.
Sean! It's just frustrating. Sean.
Jason!
Oh, it's Jason. I was like, Sean.
Well, it's Sean and Jason.
I only remember Jason. Who's Sean?
It's Jason at the beginning, but then it's Sean at the end.
Oh, okay. It's been a while. Rain. But so, okay. Yeah, so that was this morning, just dealing getting 2 sections of 3 hours of sleep. I woke up in the morning, and apparently because of the rain last night, our dog Harvey didn't want to go outside to pee because it was he doesn't like. So he held it all night, and he couldn't hold it in the morning, and he peed on a cushion. So I had to wake up, realize that the basement was still flooded, that he peed on a cushion, and I had to take my daughter over to my mother-in-law's house today because she was watching her. Normally, someone watches her while I'm in the office and my wife works. But I normally 3 days a week I watch her during the day because I'll just work from home those 3 days, and I go into the office 2 days a week, and it works out really well. But so I still had to drive her over to my mother-in-law's to drop her off, come back. And then I decided to treat myself to just a coffee from Wawa, which I had points for, so I got it for free.
Nice.
And I kept fucking spilling it on my hand. I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
So and then on top of that, I got the speeding ticket last week, and then we got a rude awakening with some toll tickets that we don't think we should pay because we have whatever. I can't go into too much detail but it just feels like one fucking thing after another. Yeah. And now we have to pay. We're currently in the process of doing our taxes, as well as I have to pay our local taxes. And I can't wait for April 15th to come. Not only because that's my anniversary, but also because that's tax day. Everything will be done by then.
Yeah.
And then it's just the normal stuff that is always happening. So it's just. I understand you. I say all that not to take away from the stuff you're experiencing and feeling, but to commiserate, to empathize with you. That it's just one thing after another, and it's exhausting.
Yeah, it sure is. And then throw in my next thing that I experienced this weekend. It was a fun thing, but it was an exhausting thing. ZenkaiCon was last weekend.
Yes, I actually. So when I had the weekend to myself, I messaged our mutual friend Justin, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to hang out this weekend? I got the house to myself." And he goes, "Actually, I'm going to ZenkaiCon." I'm like, "God damn it! I can't even, I can't afford the ticket for it right now." So
yeah. I actually ran into him. His GF.
Tori is awesome. I like Tori a lot.
She's great. I really like them together too, and I'm happy to see that they're still together.
Same.
Yeah, he's gone through some bad relationships, but haven't we all? I caught up with him for a little bit. Caught up with some friends, and that's the local con. So that's cool. Everyone, I'm going to tell everyone about all the good food around. And, obviously Issei happened because it has to. And
It has to. It's Issei.
They moved and into a bigger, better location. They have a huge, gorgeous mural on the side of the building now. It's a gorgeous mural. It's just big ass ramen bowl with all the stuff and flashy colors and stuff. And then they also, and the interior is amazing. But now they also, in the back of the shop, they have like an izakaya, like a traditional like Japanese bar. So you can go and they're just bumping like the Samurai Champloo soundtrack, and you can sit and there's like the bar's really cool, and there's all this like old like Showa era Godzilla and Astro Boy prints and stuff, and it's super rad, and because the obviously you would hope, but the owner is from Japan. And they just went there. They're like, oh, we wrote it off because it was like a research trip for our restaurant. And I was like, oh, that's a genius idea. A Samurai Champloo vibe. It totally is. And they're gonna be doing a Korean barbecue there too. They have like the tables with the grills built into the table, and I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for that. I hope that it. Oh my God, I just realized I was literally about to say, I hope they open before we leave. Like, they open that section, and I was like, wait, before we leave to go to real Japan?
Yeah, so you can have, like, the food there.
The real thing. Not that, it's still authentic. We have something similar called K-Town. Ooh. Yeah, I love me some Korean barbecue. I'm going to have to get some soon because it's been too long. But Zenkai-Con was cool. It's a chill con. I don't, Police and I don't really cosplay anymore. We want to. And I'm like, oh, now that I'm working so much, I'll be able to afford it again. But the goal is to, and the reason I'm working 2 jobs now is to afford to be able to go to Japan. Specifically to be able to afford to have enough savings so that I can go to a language school for a year, get my proficiency up, which will open more doors job-wise for me. They have the grill built into the table, and they have anime statues of all time you can purchase. Yeah. Oh, there's one, I say somewhat close, but within an hour and a half of me, called Iron Age, and it's just the best. Like, gigantic screens, just blasting K-pop all around. They're open till like 2 a.m. It's amazing. But I don't.
What would be fun? Sorry, this is just. So remember when we did? This ties in with anime, I promise you. When we did Still Family, and we talked, and you asked like, what are the next ones you're going to do? Like, Still Aliens or whatever.
Yeah,
it's going to be, right?
Still Ghibli.
I should totally start doing anime for it.
Yeah,
do 2 or 3 do 2 episodes of the anime per episode of the show, because I'm not going to go monthly for 1 half-hour episode, right? Per 1 episode per half-hour episode. Sorry, 1 episode of the podcast per half-hour episode of the show. I'm not going to do that like I do with the Captain N series that I did, or the current one with Super Mario Super Show, or anything like that. But I could totally cover that, and that would give me an excuse to start watching anime again.
Yeah,
because I have not watched anime in the last time I tried was back in during the pandemic. I started a Black Cat was the show.
Really? And what an interesting choice.
Yeah, I had all the DVDs. So since then, I have sold or donated almost the entirety of my anime collection.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bummer. A lot of it sold at a yard sale, and I knew I'm actually kind of bummed, but I didn't touch it. I had it for over a decade, and I barely watched it. And now I'm kind of man, it'd be kind of cool to have it for the show now. But I didn't have that idea then, and we needed money for the house that we just bought. So
yeah.
I still have some. I'm looking at a stack right now. I have
Me too.
Heat Guy J and Pumpkin Scissors.
Oh my God, Pumpkin Scissors! I like that one.
There's a couple others that I'm sure I have somewhere, but the ones that I absolutely kept were Cowboy Bebop. I have all the DVDs of Cowboy Bebop. My original run that is a bootleg version of Trigun. And then I have Outlaw Star. And I think that's pretty much it, unfortunately. I kept like a handful. Also, I think I have the entire run of Ranma 1/2.
Police has been watching that, and I've been catching it. And I'm like, this actually seems pretty good. I've never gotten into it.
Neither have I. I think I still have it. You know what? I have to figure out where in God's name that I put it. I can search for it. But anyway, so yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you from talking about Zenkai-Con and like not really being into cosplay as much as you used to and this and that, but I just haven't been into anime for a long time, and part of it was like I outgrew the anime fan base in a sense. I'm not talking about in like like intellectual bullshit. I just mean like I it's hard for me to really if the conventions are still like what it was like 6-7 years ago, where it's like the squealing fangirls and the this and that. It's just like don't begrudge that. Like do you be happy about the stuff you love. It's just it doesn't bother me, but it kind of rubs me the wrong way now because I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know why you're so excited about fucking, and like as long as glomping is just not a thing anymore, I'm still not a thing.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Consent is much more prevalent in the community, fortunately.
Thank God.
Yeah, so
especially after Vic what's his nuts.
Oh my god, that was such a betrayal.
I know.
I was like, we were rooting for you. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same highs and a lot of the same lows. So not a whole lot has changed except for, the fandoms themselves, like what people are really into. But I'm seeing a lot more of people not caring about, like, I'm seeing more cosplayers just cosplay from the things that they like, even if it's something older, even if it's something more obscure, even if it's something like just the things that they love to do, instead of like, well, this is really popular and I want a lot of people to like talk to me and say that I did a good job, so I'm just going to cosplay from this popular thing. And that, of course, that still happens, but I don't know, it just seems a little bit more authentic now. I don't know. It also depends on which con you go to. But yeah, I will 100% support the idea of you watching more anime, because I feel like I talk about animes that I'm watching a lot, and you're like, I haven't watched anything since the Great Depression.
Yeah, when anime didn't even exist, Sonny boy.
All we had was rocks and sticks to throw at each other. That was our anime.
I have been watching something somewhat recently, if you don't mind me going off on a tangent. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on with Zenkai-Con, though. I don't want to cut you short.
No, it was cool. It was pretty chill. I don't suffer for cosplay anymore, so I was just comfortable the whole time, which was great. Because this time of year and where we are in the Northeast, it's like, there's Zenkai-Cons that were, and pretty much any con up this way is like the same time of year. It could be like a spring, if it's a spring con, like Zenkai-Con is, it could be 30 degrees out and super windy and snowy, or it could be like 75 and sunny and beautiful. So it's like you never know what you're gonna get. And I've been really, really, really hot, and I've been really, really, really cold, depending on the costume that I've been wearing. And I'm just I want to be comfy. So I'm trying, like, as far as highlights go, I think probably our favorite thing that we did was just was honestly probably just walking around, people watching and catching up with friends. And we did go to a panel that we really liked, which normally I don't do a whole lot of panels.
I love panels. That's what I crave at conventions, but almost no conventions do panels that I'm interested in anymore.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, nothing really like jumped out at me. One jumped out at me, and it was like a deep dive into the music and the made-up language in the music of the Nier games.
That type of shit. Like, so I have not played the Nier games, but like, I love it when they do stuff like that in panels. Where what is it? I remember I don't know if he still does it. It was Charles Dunbar, still a guy that shows up to Zenkai-Con and does panels.
I haven't heard that name probably since like 2012, but maybe, I don't know.
He had a panel I remember years ago about like Final Fantasy and religion, and like different fucking like theories. Like there's one talk about like nihilism and how like Final Fantasy 9 is like a rejection of nihilism or something. Not nihilism, existentialism. I forget what it was, but basically how Zidane at the end of Final 9, spoiler alert, but not really that much of a spoiler.
I never played it.
It's, okay, well, no, this doesn't really spoil anything. I can tell you. Basically, in the face of like the final boss, it's one of those classic speeches of like, why do you even bother fighting, and nothing's worth existing for, type of thing. And basically here's a really beautiful line talking about like, you fight because of the people you care about, which is also a very cliche thing. But when you have the build up of all the events through Final 9 and the events that happened to all the characters, and how the characters had really crazy character arcs and whatnot, like really good character arcs, it means a lot more. And so him talking about it, like, hit an emotional note with me. And I missed panels like that where it was like they're really trying to take a deep dive onto something. And so this Nier panel you're talking about, like, even though that's not something I'd probably go to because I haven't played Nier, I'm so happy they're still doing panels like that, because that's the shit I eat up.
Yeah, it was cool. And the way that they presented it was like, if you were a fan, you obviously would be like, yes, oh my god, it's bringing back all the emotions. And if you weren't, it was like an invitation. It was like, here's some of the cool things that you can experience in this game. And this, I guess it's a franchise at this point. There's at least 3 games. If you count the mobile one, which does have a canon storyline. And of course, like the Drakengard games are part of that. Kind of, they are, but they're not. It's weird. I think you still may have enjoyed it. It's really cool, especially linguistically. So like the main vocalist for the songs, her name's Emmy Evans. She made up a language for this franchise and based specific songs, like the language of each individual song, on a different language, a real world language. So she was like, the sonic qualities of the languages. So like she was talking about for the sweeping sad melodies, it's a lot of like open vowel sounds, and for like the action, it's like more harsher languages. And she talks about how like, for this one I was inspired by like Portuguese, which is like kind of like you're speaking. I think they said Portuguese is like speaking Spanish in a French accent. And I was like, that's great, actually. But yeah, it was really interesting. And so that was cool, because those are relatively like, I don't know a ton of people who are like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I know Nier Automata. It's the one with the girl with the white hair with the sword, the blindfold. And it's like, yeah, but have you experienced, like, have you played through all the endings as you're supposed to? Not to be like completionist, but like you won't get, like, the story continues like after the ending, and then you go through and there's more endings. Get to the true end and experience all the things that Yoko Taro, our Lord and Savior, and also our greatest enemy, has intended for us. But yeah, it was very cool. And then I had one more thing I was going to say about Zenkai-Con. I don't know. It was fun. It was chill. I like walking around. I like just the vibe of a convention. I always say like, oh yeah, but introvert. I don't like people. And I'm like, I don't know if that's true. I think I just don't like people who aren't my people. Like I could deal with big crowds when they're nerds, when they're anime fans and gamers, and So
no, I'm the same way, because there's a reason they call it con funk. Like once the convention's over, and then you just kind of have to exist outside of that space, you're like, oh
yeah, you go back to your 9 to 5 where nobody even knows what an anime is. They're like, is that them Chinese cartoons and them Pokemans?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what would
So-
be the first anime that you would want to watch
Oh.
if you got back into anime? Because I have
If it was
recommendations.
if it was something that I owned, it would be Pumpkin Scissors, just because I own it, and I need to. I want to actually watch all of it at some point. Heat Guy J, I also have heard good things about. Honestly, one of them would also be Brotherhood, because I've seen the original FMA. I never watched Brotherhood though, like all the way through. I've seen a decent amount, but like that one would be like much later on, because A, it's kind of long, and B, like I know it's different than I know it's different than that. I would also try out. Sorry, I know it's different than the original run, but it might be later on. I'd also try out My Hero Academia, because I've never watched it.
Yeah.
and I know it was like the anime for a good while.
For sure. It's like the new Naruto. It's like today's Naruto, for sure. And it's about to
I
end.
also never watched Attack on Titan.
Oh. Whoa.
I've seen like bits and pieces of it. Like I watched like a bit of the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. I'm pretty behind on like anything that's popular right now.
Attack on Titan is
Yeah, so I
excellent,
don't know.
but you have to be in the mood for it. It is. It's dark and very violent and very brutal.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
immaculately presented.
I heard it's like anime Game of Thrones. Like I'm not in the same like stories or anything like that, but like dark and violent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they don't cut corners. They don't mess around. But it's great. That's over too, so you don't have to worry about that. Keep still going. And My Hero is about to end, so I think that's still pretty long at this point. It's probably like at least 100 episodes, if not more, maybe 200 at this point. But
Man, that would take so. If I did like two, maybe I see. The thing is, if I go with like movie lengths, right? I'd probably do 3 episodes of the show per episode of the podcast, right? And break it down beat by beat the whole time and everything like that. But that might be fun. Like do that once a month. Just watch 3 anime episodes. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah, I mean, 6 episodes of a 20-minute long anime is 2 hours. So that's like watching a movie.
Well, yeah, 6 episodes. I would honestly probably only do 3, so it'd be an hour and 20 minutes each. So that, I mean, if depending on how many episodes there are, like,
Well, wait, 3.
see.
I'm assuming you just. I think they're all 20 minutes because I usually skip the intro and the outro, so that's like that cuts it down to 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, well, 3 episodes would actually be an hour. Now that I think about it, so
Yeah.
I could do like 4, but 3 just I feel like covering 4 in a single episode of the podcast just feels like a lot, because it's
Yeah.
4 separate storylines that I'd be going through and having to break down and everything. I feel like doing. I'll see. Maybe I'll watch 4 and record 3, and then see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm always
I don't
down
know.
to talk. If you need guests, I will talk anime anytime.
What I've experienced somewhat recently is my Courtney and I, as our early anniversary gift to each other, subscribe to Dropout TV. Have you ever heard of Dropout TV?
Right, of course. Yeah, we've talked about this before. It's like the next level of College Humor.
Yes, yeah.
Game
So
Changers,
we've been-
D20.
Dimension 20 Game Changer. My new current obsession is Very Important People, which is where a comedian will come on. They will get put into a full costume, a full makeup, but they don't know what they're being put into. And then once they see it, they have to come up with a character based off the costume they were put into.
I love it.
And honestly, what got me to like, I've enjoyed almost everything that Dropout has put out. Which, side note, if you would like to watch any of this, Andrew, I can send you my information for that, because they don't care about account sharing.
Nice.
And so, like, they have that series. It's a Dimension 20 series, but Dungeons and Drag Queens. There's 2 seasons of it now. They're doing one with wrestlers very soon.
Is there
It's
one
coming
called
out like-
Fantasy High on there?
That is
that
their
D20?
first one.
Okay.
You can actually watch Fantasy High for free on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay.
I
'Cause
never finished it, but it's really good.
in a slight tangent, but also keeping related to what you're saying, but also relating to ZenkaiCon, an idea that I had for more content, just in general, was to do little interviews at ZenkaiCon. So I interviewed a couple of people, and I still have to edit it and put up on YouTube. But one of the groups, actually one of my friend groups, they were all cosplaying from Fantasy High, and I was like, wow, this must be really popular, really popular. And they're like, yeah, it's basically like it's another D&D thing. And
what I like about the Dimension 20 stuff so far is that it's not high fantasy.
Yeah,
they take tabletop role playing. Like I started watching a series called Never Stop Blowing Up, which it's basically an 80s action movie spoof, right?
Nice.
And the
Kung
premise
Fury.
of it is there's kind of like that. Well, so what's funny is like all the improvisers have characters where they all work at this. They all are somehow connected to this going out of business rental video store, right? And the very first episode. There's a one video that's been checked out for like years and has like 12 years worth of late fees or something like that. And so the guy comes like. It's not too much of a spoiler, I would say, but the guy finally returns and then he starts playing the movie for them, and they all get sucked into the movie.
Okay.
And they have separate characters, so it's like their character has a character in this movie. Never Stop Blowing Up.
That's wild. It's like Jumanji.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like I watched the first episode was 2 hours, so it's like you're looking like the Fantasy High, each episode was an hour long. I'm like, that feels manageable, right?
Yeah.
But like Never Stop Blowing Up. I'm curious. Yeah, the second episode, which I have not started yet, but it's 2 hours and 8 minutes. The third is an hour 54. The shortest that I can see is an hour and 27, which bizarrely enough is the finale.
Whoa. Still about half the length of an average Critical Role episode.
Yes. But like they're not playing like D&D, like they're playing this weird tabletop rule set where like you roll a D4, and if you roll a 4, then you essentially blow up, and you can roll the D4 again.
Oh, is it Savage Worlds?
I guess, I don't know. But you could technically keep rolling as long as you keep getting 4s, and so the higher your roll gets. So like a lot of the skill checks are like 3s or whatnot, right? And if there's anything higher, then you have to roll a 4 and then hope that you get a 4 and then get something a little bit above that, right? So it's all kind of interesting. So I watched the first episode and I really liked it. But with very important people. What, sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, do they roll like a D4 and also a D6? Like, do they do a D6 with every roll?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It
I
sounds
don't think so.
Like Savage Worlds, which is, I know there's a million of these, but one of our friends just started I forget if I talked about this, a tabletop campaign for us, and it's like a Industrial Revolution England type one, and it's, you roll, any of your die, if you land on the highest number, like a 4 or a 6 or whatever, then it can explode, and it keeps going and going. So I wonder if that's what it is. But yeah, it's much easier than D&D. It's so much easier than D&D.
They also back to very important people. The reason Courtney and I were like, we have to just bite the bullet and get this. Like, one, it's independent media. It's like trans inclusive, like LGBT inclusive media. They're all cool, down to earth people, from what I can tell. Like, I want to support this type of content. Bobby Moynihan was on one.
Oh wow,
Bobby Moynihan of SNL fame, right? And he plays. He's a frozen man, and he was basically he got frozen in 1986, and he gets thawed out in 2024, and he's trying to adjust to the world. And the clip that had me losing it is that there's a PA, like, one of the behind the scenes people comes up and gives him like a cup of coffee, and he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And then she looks at Vicky, she's like, "Why is he wearing that mask? Did something happen?" And she goes, and she looks like she does like the gym at the camera, almost like The Office, just like. And then he goes, "Is that a funny topic?" And he continues without letting her respond. He goes, "I had to wear one of those. I had to wear a mask once. When I took a tour of the World Trade Center. How are those doing?" And then before she could even reply to that, he goes, "How's Bill Cosby?"
Oh my god!
and it like just beat after beat after beat, not even giving Vic a chance to like register on how to respond to this in the character of her host, and she just breaks down.
That's amazing.
It's so funny. He also has like when he's. I always love it when they do the reveal for the comedian. They start like tinkering with things. They're like, "Oh, I could do this or this," and Bobby Moynihan looks at it. He's like, I feel like I should do a Southern accent. I think I feel a Southern accent. So then another one of the clips that you can see it on like on Instagram or TikTok or whatnot. So like, I'm not spoiling anything you can't just get for free. But he he goes, he's like, what does he say? He goes, "Oh man, I hope I wasn't racist. I feel like I was a little racist." And she's like, "No, you're just talking with a Southern accent. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a racist." He's like, "Oh, that's the accent you think this is? Cool." And that makes her break for some reason. There's so many good ones. One of my favorites, and this is the last I'll gush about this, but like Zach Oyama's a really funny improviser. He gets put into like a full prosthetic like top half, right? Where they give him a bald cap and they put on this fake head so it looks like he's like this bald, muscle-bound dude. Very Uncanny Valley-esque, actually. It's like really unnerving to watch. He's got a mohawk, giant fucking shoulders, but they give him tiny little hands that that you hold the sticks in your hand, and at the end of the sticks are even like tiny little plastic hands. And he's a motivational speaker.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Bless him.
He's a motivational speaker, and he goes, "You know what happens when what you do when the world gives you a little makes you a little sad? Give a little clap." Give a little. And he's like just tapping the two things, and they have him like try drinking water by picking up
with the tiny hands
mug with the tiny hands. Oh, it's so fucking funny.
That's awesome.
It's great.
I've
been in love with it.
I think we may have talked about this exactly 1 month ago, but I saw the bug one, or it's the clips anyway of like there's a guy who's
Paul
a bug.
F. Tompkins is the blue bug, right?
Yeah.
I love Paul F. Tompkins, man.
The makeup is incredible.
Oh, it's great. Some of the other shows too. This is transitioning off, but just like other reasons I'm so happy with this. Smarty Pants is another show that I have not watched yet, but it looks funny. Basically, they bring comedians on to basically make presentations and die. You know how we all have those mountains we're willing to die on that really are inconsequential.
Yup.
So it's stuff like that. So each of them give like a presentation about like whatever this is. I have not watched it, but the clips I've seen of it is funny. Where like someone will have a whole presentation about why the ocean is bad or something, shit like that. Like it's stuff like that. I've never watched it. There's a show called Actually. Haven't watched that, so I don't exactly know.
That one's great.
That's all about.
I think you would like that one. I see clips of that all the time. It's basically like it's Jeopardy, but it's like they'll say a fact and you have to buzz in, and you have to basically figure out what's wrong with what they're saying, and you have to start with by saying actually. So it's like the they're like pushing the glasses up kid being like actually Thor's hammer is called Mjolnir. it's like stuff like that. It's very funny. They have a lot of really good guests on there.
They also have a show that I really want to watch called Gastronauts, which is relatively new. There's only 6 episodes, but basically they have comedians come on and they are creating challenges for professional chefs.
Whoa.
So the judges, who are the comedians of Dropout / College, formerly College Humor, they create the challenges, and it's like then the chefs have to find a way to make it work, right?
Huh.
So it's like completely, it's like a different thing where it's like, instead of, here you have to do this in this time limit and you have to, all this other stuff. They might make him do like the biggest s'more ever or something like. That's the first episode is called "Make Love Not S'mores," so I'm guessing it has something to do with s'mores.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like that seems really funny. Just I don't know. I'm really digging what they have, and I just want to continue to support them as much as I can.
Yeah, totally.
It's been fun.
Yeah, I don't know if. Do you know who Brian David Gilbert is?
Brian David Gilbert.
He was on, I think, Polygon for a while. He does a bunch of like really funny video essays about video games.
Oh, I see who I've seen. I've seen him, but I don't know much of his stuff.
Okay, he's on actually as like the person. I think he writes the questions because he knows so much about just nerd stuff in general, not just gaming, but it's a lot of video game stuff, but nerd stuff in general. And the camera always cuts to him if he has something funny to say, and he's just a very entertaining person. And I keep forgetting, and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen him in a while. He did. If you want an introduction to the genius that is Brian David Gilbert, he has a video of, I think it's called "I Created the Perfect Poke Rap." And he talks about like how do you do an updated version of the Poke Rap now that there's literally 1,000 Pokemon? Or at the time it was like probably only up to like only like 800.
Only.
But it is hysterical. The pacing, the timing, his passion, his knowledge are all just great. He's just a great little guy. But yeah, I'll have to check out some Dropbox stuff. Drop out. That's actually
send you after we're done the stream, I will send you the information for it. 'Cause they also announced a new show called Parlor Room, which actually kind of fits into what Talk Tuesday is. It's basically the host Becca Scott gets a whole bunch of comedians together, people from the show or whatnot, and they bring a guest on, and the guest brings one of their favorite board/tabletop games. And they share it with the group, and they all play it together.
Oh, I love that. Experience share for tabletop games.
Pretty much. That's the vibe I'm getting. They literally just released the trailer for this show yesterday.
Nice. That's cool. I've got some games that I would like to share with people. What the heck was I going to say? When I said Dropbox accidentally, it's so funny because when I was interviewing people who were talking about Fantasy High, one of them accidentally said, "Oh, it's a new series on Dropbox," and I started laughing because I was like, "Wait, what? Do they just send you the podcast like directly? They're like, here, just listen to this. We'll just send it right to your Dropbox." But Dropout
TV. It is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I've been loving it. One of my, I need to watch the episode still, but there's a comedian named Jacob Wysocki that I really like, and he had a character where basically, think of a 70s pimp, right? Where he's wearing white suit, he's got a fake orange tan with he's balding, but he combs his hair over. Most of his hair is on the side of his head, right? Yeah. He's got necklaces and shit like that, and he's really Jacob Wysocki's a bigger dude. He's big. But so he looks at himself in the mirror. He goes, "Oh yes, I'm a piece of shit. That's what I am. I am just the biggest piece of shit." And so I've seen clips of it where he's just this entrepreneur. He's this business owner who is just abhorrent. Think of just every your Jeff Bezos, your Elon Musk, but with mask off, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's real. I just love his initial reaction.
I'm a piece.
It's so funny. I Jacob Wysocki. He's really funny. There's another show they have called Make Some Noise, which essentially is kind of like Whose Line. It's a different it's very much in the same vein as Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they're given like comedic prompts and then they have to act out those comedic prompts, and they're all done in like different ways. So there was like one of the goofiest ones was ordering lunch from Mr. Mayonnaise's sandwich shop, but not wanting mayonnaise on your sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is he Jacob Wysocki?
Yeah, the dude.
Oh,
who plays Mr.
okay.
Mayonnaise.
I've seen that one.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah. They're like, and he gets all offended. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, then he goes like, "That
Want anything else on there?"
Where you sure you don't want anything else on there? And she's trying to like get away from it. He's like, here, and he lifts up the side of his shirt, and she's like, oh my god, is that a gun?
Right.
Oh, it's so. I love Jacob Wysocki. It is funny. I love this. So, Dropout. If anyone who's not seen Dropout, it is very much worth subscribing to and supporting because they seem like cool people and they're funny as shit.
Yeah, I support this. I support supporting this. Well, I have some non-time sensitive things that I experienced that we can just hold for another time. I know you said you wanted to stream tonight, and I am trying to conserve my sleep. So we could wrap up.
I'm also going to be conserving my sleep. I will not be streaming tonight, but okay. I do respect it because I'm actually getting a little tired too.
Yeah.
The last thing I think we should do before we wrap up, the Nintendo Switch Direct for the Switch 2 is tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Right.
I think because we don't want to go off on a whole tangent because, like you said, we're both tired.
Yeah.
Let's conserve our energy. But if you can give one prediction and one, like, oh, I hope this happens, right? Like, hopefully they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I don't think we should count like the price point and the specs and the release date, right? Because that's probably going to get announced tomorrow. If it doesn't, that's going to be really weird. If it doesn't, you make you tell us a month out that we're having a Switch 2 Direct.
Right.
You know what I mean? In terms of like maybe like what's a prediction, like a game they're going to announce, maybe like some tech, like is there a new tech thing you think they're going to add to the Switch 2 that wasn't in the Switch 1? I'm also kind of vamping to give you some time to think.
I think I've got my answers, but I appreciate that because I did need that time.
That's one of the reasons I do it on the podcast periodically where like if I don't discuss something with someone previously and I'm asking them a question, I vamp a little bit so that way it gives them time to think about their answer, and it also elongates the episode. Because now while you're going, I need time to think about my own stuff too.
Yeah. Well, I've got a slight aside that's related to something that was said previous. And then I'll bring it back to this to give you even more time. I did the same exact thing when I was talking to people at ZenkaiCon. I was like, what's your hot take? Do you have a hot take in gaming? Do you have a hot take in anime? And because we were talking about Full Metal, I've told you this before, but my anime hot take is that the original Full Metal Alchemist is a better show than Brotherhood. Now, before all the snipers come after me, you haven't watched Brotherhood.
No, but the thing is, Brotherhood, I've watched about a third of it, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I just never finished it. Brotherhood is like, you need to watch the original series before you watch Brotherhood. Not because Brotherhood is bad, but because the original series does all the groundwork for character development that Brotherhood doesn't waste its time with.
Yes. Yeah, which is so weird. So that's why I'm it devolves. That's right. I think I have mentioned this before, and I was really surprised that you agreed with me because nobody agrees with me. I think because people are like, well, they changed stuff. They changed everything for the manga. Okay. That's why I say it's a better show. It's a better watch. It's more enjoyable to me. Brotherhood, of course, is a better adaptation. That's the whole point of why they made it. It doesn't have to be the best adaptation to be the best show. I think the better show is the original. Love it. All the beats that they take their time with. God, stunning. Anyway, to answer your question, I think I've seen some talk of this around, so this isn't 100% an original thought, but people are speculating, and I'll get on this train. I think it seemed like in their little reveal of it that the little controller animation of them like sliding around the table and kind of racing each other is going to be was a hint that it's got mouse functionality.
Like I heard that too. I kind of subscribed to that thought too.
Yeah, and the way that it was shot, I was like, that can't be purely style. You know, that like everything feels like it's for a reason. So I'm gonna say it's gonna have something wild, some kind of wild functionality, like mouse support, and maybe they'll announce a keyboard for it. You know, I'm sure that'll be $60. And my hope is I just want them to bring back a franchise that has been long dormant, whether that's an Earthbound, a custom Robo. I would love a new custom Robo, or F-Zero. I would like an F-Zero. I'm not even like super into them, but I want to play a new one. I want to play a new F-Zero. I really want a new custom Robo. Earthbound would be great. I'm trying to think of some other ones that they haven't really touched in a long time. For like first party Nintendo. Those are probably the big ones. Star Fox would be cool. Like the last Star Fox game we got was booty. Like, and was a long time ago. Like Star Fox Armada on the Wii U. It skipped, like there wasn't a like mainline Star Fox game on the Switch one, was there?
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, or maybe the last one we got was 3DS. But still, like it feels like it's been a really long time. Maybe they do a remake, a Star Fox 64 remaster. But I want them to. I want a new entry in an IP that has not gotten love. If we want to say official. My realistic want is a new F-Zero. My unrealistic want is a new custom Robo. That's the one that I want more, but is probably less likely.
I would say for myself, the thing I'm kind of like, my prediction is they're going to announce a new like mainline Mario game. Because really there hasn't been one since Odyssey. You had Bowser's Fury, which was like an add-on, a really good add-on, but an add-on to the port of 3D World. So I think they're going to announce a new Mario. Like, I mean, guess they just did Wonder though, just like last year, which I still have yet to play. But like Wonder's 2D, maybe they won't do a Mario one then. Because I feel like I could totally see them doing a big like 3D Mario one.
Yeah,
in the vein of Odyssey or Galaxy or something like
Odyssey 2. You know, Galaxy 3.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So Mario was going to be my prediction, but now I'm like second guessing because they just did Wonder like last year.
Yeah, but that doesn't
2D, mean they wouldn't do it.
Like you said.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that didn't have like the more broad appeal of a 3D game. Like when Odyssey came out, everyone I knew was talking about it, whether they were a gamer or not. They were like, "Oh, that new Nintendo system looks cool. Yeah, the new Mario. You know, oh, it's just like when I was a kid." Like and I got caught in that too. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most excited I've been for a Mario game since Mario 64." You know. So I think it's very likely that they announce a 3D Mario.
I could see that. My guess. So for prediction, I'll stick with the 3D Mario. I feel like there's something else in there, but like something I would really love. Like this is like pie in the sky. Would love to see them bring bring something back. Would be like do either like a new thing where they do they finally like put Virtual Boy on the Netflix or whatever on Switch Online. I would love to see something like that. Would be kind of wild to see, but even that, I was just pulling for something like actually, you know what? No, here's my pie in the sky. I want a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game.
Ooh,
not a 2D side scroller that's in like a 3D game that 3D character models that work in side scroller. I'm talking like it doesn't have to be Donkey Kong 64, but full 3D platformer like Donkey Kong 64, but obviously not collectathon, not blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
like not N64 style, like a modern, do the Mario Odyssey version of Donkey Kong. You know
That
what
would
I
be
mean?
awesome. And that series
That
is overdue.
That's
for,
my pie in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
I
overdue
think,
for
though,
that too.
Like, I think they're going to be doing something with it though, because like Donkey Kong stuff has been hinted for a while now. They also did that HD remake of Donkey Kong Country Returns. So there's a pretty good chance, I would assume, that they would be doing something like that sometime soon. So my guess is there's going to be I'll kind of side with you. I think my guess is of things they're going to announce, like that are likely to announce. It's the mouse support for the Switch 2 on the tech side, and then a 3D Mario game, and then pie in the sky. What I want it to do is fully 3D like Donkey Kong game. And if the mouse support is real, I want a Nintendo RTS that's not like I love Pikmin, but like either that or not a Nintendo RTS, because I feel like they got to keep with their kind of goofy, fun style. I would love to see like a port of like Age of Empires or something to the Switch with Switch 2 mouse support.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when we were talking about that, I was like, well, the only other thing that, like, what would you need the mouse for? And it's either, something like an RTS, or like, if it's a mouse and keyboard, and they do a keyboard support, or a little controller that has like the WASD. Like sometimes I've seen like a little half a keyboard peripheral, and if they do a keyboard, I'm like, okay, so FPS, maybe we get a first person Splatoon or something like that, or some kind of like first person. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of what else they could do with it. They could do a new Mario Paint.
That would be, yes. Yo, a new Mario Paint? Absolutely. Yeah. Wow.
I remember spending way too much time on that when I was a kid, and like I think I was in like kindergarten or something like that. We had a computer that had the Mario Paint on it.
That would be awesome. Mario Paint, I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Because they wouldn't, if they would have a new, quote unquote, new peripheral or something that they've never done before, they're going to have a big game that's going to have to sell it. Mm-hmm. So whether that's like I said, a first person Splatoon or a new IP in general, are there any first person, like primarily first person, first party Nintendo games?
Are there any what? Sorry, repeat that.
Like first party, I'm just going to say the word first a lot. Are there any primarily first person, first party Nintendo games?
Metroid Prime.
Yeah. But they're already...
Which they already announced a release date for, but I don't think they're going to... I don't think that would... I mean, we'll have it with support, but also Metroid Prime, like the original, didn't need even like... They designed the game around the limitations of the GameCube controller, which is just impressive. But that was... That's interesting because that was done by Retro Studios, which is technically not an in-house Nintendo publisher, like developer. They're kind of like is Retro Studios owned by Nintendo, or are they like a second-party developer, right?
That's a great question.
Kind of like how like Pokemon is like not technically part of Nintendo, but
right.
Like, come on, they're part of Nintendo.
But I would still consider that.
They are. Their parent is Retro Studios is a parent. Like Nintendo owns them.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
They were bought by Nintendo in 2002.
Okay, yeah. So I think right after they made Metroid Prime. First Metroid Prime was what, 2000?
Yes.
One?
They basically made Metroid Prime, became a first party developer of Nintendo that same year as the release of Metroid Prime, and since then they did Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime Hunters, the DS game, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, the Metroid Prime trilogy. They did Donkey Kong Country Returns in 2010. Then they did Tropical Freeze, where they did the original and then they ported it to the Wii U. They also did, ported it to the Switch, excuse me. They also did the Metroid Prime Remastered for Switch, and they are working, obviously, on Metroid Prime 4, which is coming out later this year. They also did Mario Kart 7, which I did not know.
Huh, I didn't either.
But hold on, there's a little annotation, be co-developed with Nintendo EAD. So they were not the primary developers, and they also co-developed the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze with another company called Monster Games, which I'm guessing is for the Switch port. I would guess they did the original version, and Monster Games might have done the Switch port. That's I haven't read it, so I don't know for certain. But it is kind of weird. Like, Retro Studios like really has like a high watermark in terms of the games they make, but like they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in 8 years. If you're going from Metroid Prime to Donkey Kong Country Returns from 2002 to 2010, so they made 6 games in 8 years, and then from 2010 to 2025, right? So 15 years, they've done 4.
Whoa.
Honestly, I genuinely feel that is just because of HG game development. Like, it's finally becoming much more manageable to do now. But, like, you know, you saw every game developer take a sudden hit around the first generation that they switched over to HG. I think one of the few that didn't was like Naughty Dog, where they somehow released like Uncharted like 1, 2, 3 and Last of Us over the span of like 6 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. And also like Insomniac as well. But like a lot of game developers, especially Japanese ones at the time, had a really hard time with the transition to HD. And for a while, that's why you saw a lot of, I don't want to say anti-Japanese sentiment, not in the same sense as it was in the 80s, where it was like, I mean, it was racist in both accounts, but like one was almost like comically racist, and the other one, like the one from the 2010s, or like the 2000s and the 2010s, is just almost like ignorant racism, if that makes sense, where they're like, I don't think people necessarily entirely realized what was going on, because I mean, if you think about it, like Japanese games for the not the PS2 era, the PS3 era up until like midway through the PS4 was kind of like, they weren't necessarily always the most popular games in the US, I should clarify. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still good ones, obviously. There's lots of good ones, but like they were largely overlooked because I think they had a hard time switching over to HD game development. Once they figured it out, you've seen a renaissance of like Japanese games ever since like Dark Souls really started taking off in like the mid 2010s.
Oh yeah, FromSoft just plowing forward.
Oh yeah, and like, and you can even see it with like, look at like also with the fact that the Switch has been so popular with all the stuff on the Switch, even like the third party stuff. Like, I think Square Enix has had like a quiet renaissance during the Switch era, where like you have Octopath Traveler, you have Triangle Strategy, you have obviously the Final Fantasy VII remakes. You have Final Fantasy 16. You have Final Fantasy Origins. You know, the Strangers of Paradise or whatever, which I know a lot of people love.
Really?
Like, I have a lot of friends in the podcasting community who love that game.
Oh man, I've only heard bad things. I wanted to play it because it was, I think Team Ninja developed it, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of people that I've spoken to in my podcasting community really, really like that stuff.
Huh. I might have to actually play it. I've only heard bad things about it.
I'm gonna have to like look to, like, if I look at a list of like Square Enix games, right? If I sort it by original release date, if you look at like, oh my god, there's so many fucking games on this list.
Oh, I know.
but like just from like this year back, right? You have Kingdom Hearts, you have Dragon Quest, the 1 and 2 HD remakes, the Saga Frontier 2 remastered, Fantasian, Neo Dimension, which is the developed by Miss Walker but published by Miss Walker is like the original, like that's Hironobu Sakaguchi, the original Final Fantasy creator, right? That he made a game called Fantasian, which was on Apple Arcade, and then they ported it or created a new version of it. Have you ever heard of Fantasian?
No, these are all new words that I'm hearing for the first time.
You are going to. I have not personally played it, but from what this intrigues me, all of the backgrounds are pictures of dioramas that they made by hand.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen shots of that game, but I never knew what it was called.
Yeah. It's called Fantasian. And like Nobuo Uematsu is the composer for it. Like, it looks really fucking cool. So the original game Fantasian it came out in 2021 for Apple Arcade, and then obviously they've released Fantasian on the Switch. And and you can get it on PS4, PS5, and Series X and X/S. But then you also have like Visions of Mana. I guess it's the newer game from the Mana series. You have Romancing Saga 2. Like these are all. There's a lot of ports of older games. But then you have Rebirth. You have Final Fantasy 16, like I already mentioned. I'm just going Octopath Traveler 2. The Crisis Core remake, Tactics Ogre remake, Harvestella. I remember that from 2022. That was a farm life sim role playing game that was fairly popular. Though that's developed by a company called Livewire. I've never heard of them, but it's still the Diofield Chronicle. I remember that being advertised as well. There was just a whole lot of stuff that I feel like Square quietly, like not a lot of it was necessarily done in-house per se, but it really feels like they Neo: The World Ends With You. They did a sequel to The World Ends With You in 2021.
Right.
It really feels like they kind of had a little bit of a small renaissance, and a lot of it they like publish other people's games and whatnot, but they still made like the big stuff, your Final Fantasy 7 remakes, your I already mentioned Octopath Traveler, Dragon Quest, stuff like there's lots of Dragon Quest stuff. And actually Acquire was the name of the company that developed Octopath Traveler, which I did not know. Oh, wow, they've been around for a while. They originally made Tenchu Stealth Assassins.
Oh my god, throwback.
Dude, that's nuts. I had no idea. They also worked on Mario Luigi Brothership.
Weird.
They were the developer for Brothership. That's wild too. That's so crazy.
I never heard of them.
Sorry, I'm going all over the damn.
I see you going down the
place.
Wikipedia pipeline rabbit hole.
Yeah, I gotta stop because we're like we're gonna end this soon. We'll just give our quick hits, and now here we are still going on it. But I'm looking to bring it all back. I'm looking forward to the Switch Direct tomorrow, and I know you said you can't watch it due to work, so I will live text you my reactions.
Okay, I will.
I don't think that'll work either. I know you have to pay attention.
I was gonna say like. You can, but I'll be like, what is this in regards to? I will watch it. I'll try to stay off the internet, and I'll do a reaction. I don't know. How about you text me if you think I should do a reaction to it, specifically for things that that I like. If not, maybe I will watch it. I'll try not to have it spoiled by Facebook or whatever. I'm sure it still will. But if something's like if something falls out of the sky and they're like, I don't even know, Earthbound, or I don't know, we're working with Sega to make a new, I don't know, who knows? I'm running out of steam.
Watch Sega makes a new console with the help from Nintendo.
That'd be
wild.
All I want is a Dreamcast 2. That's just.
I know, right?
That's all I want. All right. Well, it is officially 10 o'clock. So
Yes.
I think with that is a good place to end. We will watch alongside the world premiere of the Switch 2. What is it? Switch Direct? Switch 2 Direct?
Switch 2 Direct at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I don't know. I know it may sound silly, but with how shitty things have been going on like the last couple of months, this is something I'm so genuinely excited for. I may not sleep well tonight.
Oh, wow.
I probably will, but it's nice to be excited about something like that, even if it's something silly.
Yeah.
You know what? I understand in the grand context of things, like there's much more important things happening in our world right now, but
No, but I think that's valid.
it is.
I hope it
It is what it
absolutely, yeah. And I hope it absolutely just blows the doors off like the first Switch did when they announced that. I remember that commercial of all the kids in their this, like high-rise loft apartments in New York that we know none of them can afford. Playing the Switch, and then they put the controllers and they click it onto it and they pick it up and they start walking around with it. That was the most excited I had been for a Nintendo product, console anyway, since the GameCube. And I hope they do something like that.
I did an episode of the podcast when they did that reveal trailer. It was one of the only times I actually did something kind of contemporary. And it was just I still like, man, the Switch, it's bittersweet for me to see it go because it was one of the few consoles I genuinely feel like I was part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
When it was contemporary. And even though I didn't play a lot online, I participated in like all the Switch online stuff. I actually took advantage of that. I played tons of games on it. I last year, honestly, bizarrely enough, one of my favorite experiences on it. Hold on, it was I got the game right here. I covered it for the podcast because it was a Patreon poll. I played Astral Chain,
Right.
for the podcast.
That's
and
platinum, right?
Yeah, it's platinum.
Yeah.
I really liked this game a lot. To me, this is for some reason this, like, I associate this game with the Switch. I understand it's a Switch exclusive, so that's part of it, but
Yeah.
I think it's a Switch exclusive. But just something about even just the whole vibe of it, just like everything, I loved it. I loved getting to play this game.
I need to play it. Next time we hang out in person, I might have to borrow that from you. Because Platinum, they're my favorite developer.
You might not have to, because
Oh.
remember... Oh wait, no, I was thinking of digital games. I was going to say I forgot. Like they have the new digital game thing they announced. You saw that, right? Like
No.
digital sharing. Oh, so the Switch Direct last week. That was
Right, I missed that one.
The Nintendo Direct last week. Oh, so you didn't see anything? Like you saw that they announced the release date for Prime 4, right?
Yes, yeah, and there's a new trailer.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I saw.
One of the things they also announced, it'll be on the Switch 2 as well, is that you can share digital games with people.
Interesting.
Kind of like you would with a cartridge.
Yeah.
You swap out the cartridge, right? It's the same thing. You can actually... They have essentially like a digital share wallet or whatever. Excuse me. And you can actually share up to, I forget. They say it in the Direct, like a certain number of games, for the Switch or whatever. A certain number of games, and you can only share it like one per person. So like I couldn't lend you like 4 games or something like that, and the person can borrow it for up to 2 days, and then it will automatically revert back to the person who owns it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's 2 weeks. I think it might be 2 weeks.
I
I
say
don't think
2
it's 2
days is pretty short.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to like double check too. Like, what is the?
Thank you, Luigi. It is 2 weeks. Thank you and welcome. As we're about to end. As soon as we start talking about something Nintendo, Luigi is summoned.
Luigi is actually going to be joining me for a very special recording session on Thursday night for... Oh, I could tease this on here.
Ooh.
Sure, why not? But sorry, real quick, before I tease it. So let me look at the Nintendo Direct from last week, because I just want to see what the final thing was. Like, what was the last thing they announced? Oh yeah, Nintendo Today, a new app for your phone,
Right.
which like allows you to get like Nintendo news directly. They also announced the Zelda movie release date on there,
I
which I
can't.
think is 2026.
I can't believe they're still making that. I don't know
They
how it's
also
going to be
announced
good.
a new Tomodachi Life game.
Right. Yes.
So that's kind of cool. Monument Valley is coming to the Switch.
Oh, sick! A new one.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, awesome! That's
3
cool.
was on Netflix. 3 is exclusive to Netflix.
Wait, how are they gonna? Are you gonna hold the Switch sideways when you play it? Because it's made to be vertical.
I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it's all touch based anyway, so it kind of works.
Yeah.
Virtual game card is the thing they added that I was telling you about. There's a new Rhythm Heaven coming out.
Oh, that's funny. Those games are fun.
They showed more about Pokemon Legends ZA.
Right.
Tamagotchi Plaza is a new one. Rift of the Necrodancer update. Gradius Origins. Eternal Life of Goldman. That one actually looked kind of interesting. It was like a 2D platformer, but with like beautiful hand drawn animation.
Huh. Sony Pictures.
Oh,
baby.
wow. It looks really good. Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, I remember watching the direct, and I was like, they announced Prime 4 10 minutes into it, like the release date. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
Right.
There's something huge has to be at the end if you're announcing this 10 minutes into to it. They also have Patapon 1 and 2 remakes coming to the Switch.
Patapon, like the
Patapon. They're like the little like
PSP game.
Like, yeah, I think so.
Huh.
So, the last thing I'll say before we are gonna get going, the thing I'm teasing, the thing I'm going to be recording with Luigi, which I actually I'll use the rest of my night to prep for. I've talked before about Comedy Bang Bang on here, right?
Yes, you have.
I'm pretty sure I have. Extensively. So they came up with a fictional holiday called Wet Day. It's a day for all of us to get wet, as wet as possible. And the joke of it is that like on April Fool's Day today, you get drenched in jokes, and so you need 9 days to dry off before you can get wet again, and that's Wet Day.
Okay.
It's stupid. It makes no fucking sense. But so they came up with it randomly on like a Bastos thing or whatnot, and so now every year on April 10th, that's Wet Day, April 10th. They whichever Comedy Bang Bang. So like I would assume next week's Comedy Bang Bang, April 7th, is because they release on Mondays, is going to be the Wet Day special, and they usually have characters who revolve around like being in water and other stuff like that. Like, so Luigi and another friend of mine, Chris from the Retro Hangover podcast, are going to be doing a Wet Day special for my podcast. It'll come out on April 10th, Wet Day, and we're going to list our top 3 wettest games, and we're going to grade them on a scale of overall wet factor, salinity, you know how salty, the saltiness of the water, buoyancy, and swimming form.
Well, I already know what number 1 is going to be.
What is it going to be? Wet?
It's going to be wet.
That joke?
Yeah.
No,
it's be the game called Wet.
Ironically, it can't be wet because there's no water in wet.
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe there is.
I have no idea.
Elijah
but it's not
Dushku.
going to be on my list.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wet Day. I love it and I hate it.
It's so the whole episode's going to be us just making jokes about getting wet, getting each other wet, and overall wetness.
Hydrophobia. It's got to be on there.
Hydrophobia. Oh, okay. The ones off the top of my head were like Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Because all the sailing, but there's others that I have in mind. So,
BioShock.
BioShock's a good one too. There's a lot, man. Oh, BioShock's going to be up on the higher ones of mine too.
Yeah, it's
I was also considering doing Sledstorm because it's snowmobiling, so you're in the snow, so it's like frozen water.
I guess, but then at that point, you might as well just do Lost Planet because the whole planet is snow and ice, which is frozen water.
Yeah, but I want good games. I'm just kidding. I've never played it. I just saw this stream change.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm still going to be mad.
I tried Lost Planet based off your recommendation, and I was so bored with it.
What year was this?
I don't remember. This was a while ago.
Okay.
This was probably at least a decade ago. I have it for the PS3 still. I still own it.
Yeah. I love that game. I know it's probably just hasn't aged well. When it first came out in like, I don't even know, 2006?
9, I'm gonna guess.
2000. Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
No. You're probably right. It's probably closer to Colonies Edition, which was like their 1.5 version of it, came out in I think 2009 because I was working at GameStop, so it probably came out in like 2007 or 8. You had to be there for Lost Planet. Yeah, that's the thing. I loved it when it came out. I played the crap out of it. It blew my mind, like from a technical standpoint, seeing all the snow. I loved it. I know that it's rough around the edges nowadays, or even like in the last 10 years, like you said. It was 07. Wow. Yeah. It holds a special place in my heart, even though I know it's not the best. It just makes me feel good. And the multiplayer, I had some incredible moments in the multiplayer in that game.
In Lost Planet, there's multiplayer in Lost Planet.
Yeah, and it was awesome. There was I don't know if I'll ever get to tell this story, but there was a map that was like, it was the biggest map, and there was every now and then like a blizzard would roll through the map. So you would like try to find like the sniper rifle and go and hide in the snow. Like while the blizzard was going, people would have like less visibility, and so you'd use that time to go get a good vantage point and hide, and then when the snowstorm stopped, you could find people and pick them out. And I just had the most tense like cat and mouse hunting with that, and then or moments with that, and then you still had the mechs, so it was like, do you want to get in the mech, which means you're super strong, but also means everyone immediately knows where you are, so then everybody's just like annihilating you with rockets and snipers and stuff. It was trying to be something different, and it ended up being kind of cool. Yeah, I liked how different it was. The story was cool, the characters were cool, but not amazing. Nothing about it I think was amazing except for the world itself. And just
I think that's why what you tried to sell me, because I know you were especially at the time, you were big. I'm sure you still are, but you were big into like nuclear winter type of, like settings and stuff like that. Like post-apocalyptic nuclear winter was like your jam.
Yeah, it still kind of is. Still is. Yeah. Every time it snows, like the first big snowstorm we get, I'm like, oh, it's a Lost Planet day, and I'll just go out, like I'll just get all bundled up so that I won't be cold, and I'll just go walk out into like a wooded area with like just crazy snow coming down, and it just feels I love that feeling. Wow, I can't believe I got to talk about Lost Planet on this this very cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Luigi's apartment, and thank you, Luigi. I think we can wrap up there on a high note.
I agree.
For me, on a low note for you.
No. It gives me another excuse to maybe try it out again. Also, side note, a little, we were talking off mic, not to end on a political note, but the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, the Democrat won.
Nice.
So
all right.
That was a nice thing. So that was nice. That was nice to hear.
Yeah. Eat shit, Trumpers.
Fucking whoever that other guy was. Well, also the fact that like what's his nuts, Musk poured like over $12 million into the race.
Yeah,
trying to like I'm not just talking about the money that he spent on like voters, but like just advertising and
bribing,
like
not bribing, legally distinct
bribing and not
bribing.
Yeah, legally distinct bribing, legally accepted bribing.
Yeah, because I guess we're just doing that now in the midst of, and they're also just texting each other war plans
over Signal. Oh, it's fucking
breaking
funny.
the law. Anyway, yes, exactly.
Breaking the law, man, breaking the law. But anyway, so yeah, we'll get going. Andrew and I are both tired. I have to go check my basement to make sure it's not flooded, or it's okay still. So yeah, this was a good time, man.
Yeah, good time as always. I also have a flood in my basement, so I'm gonna go grab my shotgun. There's your wet joke for me to end on. Halo flood.
Okay. Ooh.
All right. Well, I will talk to you not next week because you're recording stuff. I will figure out something to talk about, maybe someone to talk to for next Talk Tuesdays, but potentially in 2 weeks, I will see you again right here on the Experience Point. Thank you for your time, Josh. Thank you for your time, Luigi's Apartment, and everyone who chatted in here. And I will say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, go to therapy, and play. I guess I have to say it. Play Lost Planet. Thank you, friends.
Might
Thank
as
you.
well at this point.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, gals. Thank you, non-binary pals. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. I'm waiting for Josh to get off the call. Usually Josh gets off the call. So I don't know what to do now.
I'll see you later. Bye.
I mean, you can stay on.
Nah, it's good. I'll see you later.
All right. See ya.